Welcome to Behavioral Therapeutics. I am your host, Marlowe Gelmon, therapist, columnist, public speaker, and mom of 3 amazing teenagers, a 14-year-old daughter, a 17-year-old son, and a 19-year-old son. You can find me on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me on my website, www.positiveneurohealth.com. You can comment here, ask me questions. I cannot wait to share my experiences with you, not only as a mom and as a single mom and as a therapist, but also as a mother who has raised and is still raising 2 young men with autism. Yeah, this is going to be a series of videos that are going to be totally unpolished. Most of the information is going to be random. I don't like, I should probably think about being more strategic with my videos, but at this point, I'm just going to start sharing journal entries with you from days gone by. We're going to have disruptions like that. We're going to have phone calls. People are going to be coming in and talking to me, the kids. But I want you to get a glimpse of what's really going on in the world of raising an individual with a developmental disability. Very different than a physical disability, and very different than raising what we call a neurotypical child. Parenting is tough, regardless. But when you raise a child with a developmental disability, it's a game changer. It becomes your new normal, and parenting looks very different. I don't want to start off with diagnosis. That's my son. Can you hear him? He's a self-stimulatory behavior. He's stimming. So he has found something he really enjoys looking at. So he has a stick or something long in his hand, and he's flicking his fingers, and he's looking down the barrel of that stick, and he's looking at that image, whatever that image is, and he's just so excited that he just makes these adorable sounds. I love them. And that means he's happy. And when he was young, I can remember therapists and support staff reprimanding him for making those sounds because it was disruptive to the other students. But what they didn't understand is that particular child, my child, spent the majority of his days screaming and hitting and crying, that when he did find a moment of joy, it was loud and it looked like that. But all I wanted was for him to be happy. So when he is happy, I say to him, you go, Riley, you stim, you do it. And for those who find it off-putting or who are, distracted by it, that's their problem. That's not his problem. Certainly isn't mine. So when we do have big sounds like that on videos here, that's just the way it is. Again, unpolished, totally unreserved videos about raising individuals with autism. I hope to also interview some individuals with autism themselves, other therapists, other clinicians, other parents. I will be interviewing my boys as well at some point. So that will be interesting. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to share journal entries on every video that I post. These are randomized journal entries that I have not seen since writing them. And they're not going to go in a lineage, in a timeline. Okay, so today I'm going to start reading a post, and I hope it is not too disturbing. I hope it doesn't bring up a lot of emotion, because I'm tired, quite frankly, of being angry and sad. I have always been an introvert, but not a pessimist. I've always been an optimist. The glass is always half full. I see the silver lining in everything. That's just the way I have always been. And that's the way I am now. But there was a period of time years ago when the boys were in early elementary. I think my now 17-year-old was in preschool. That was a dark time. And I will share with you how I felt during that time on another post. But today I'm going to read you a randomized journal entry. When I do post videos of the boys, I want you to note solely for educational purposes, and that I've had the approval of the boys themselves to post. I'm going to give you background information on the ABCs, the antecedent, the behavior, and the consequence of the video. So where the video was taken, what the context is entirely. So you have a really good idea of the video. Was a child tired? Was a child hungry? There's so many circles of information, so many variables that affect how you see a video that I post. Okay, so here's a journal entry from 2011. I wrote, and sometimes my writing is really like florally and obnoxiously like poetic, so please bear with me, okay? It says, August 13th, 2011. There is a shadow of hopelessness that often looms over families struggling through the valley of disability. George's mother, Elizabeth, not mentioning her last name, found herself deep in that dark valley last Tuesday as she shot her autistic son to death in his bedroom before turning the gun on herself. There's a quote from a family friend for the article. It says, and I quote, "We wish we had known she was feeling this desperate, because we would have done what we could to help her." And I wrote, "Really? You knew this family since George was 6 years old? And you had no idea the struggles this family was going through? You had no idea? You really didn't?" If you are privileged enough to know a family with a child with autism or a young adult with autism, please ask if they ever need any extra support or help. Not all families can access respite or community support workers. So as a community, you're part of a tribe. If you decide not to be, that's fine too. But if you decide to be part of a community, these families are now part of your community. And there is such a blessing and such benefit for introducing your own children to children with developmental disabilities. I have a stutter, by the way, so please forgive me. I've had it since I was a kid, and it comes up for no rhyme or reason. You're part of a community, and you don't owe it to the community, but please don't go ahead and say things like this. Had we known they were going through this, well, you should have known, because raising a child with autism is not a walk in the park. Then I wrote, "Parents raising children with autism are under a terrific amount of stress, more so than any other developmental disability. It's an exhausting experience. Parents of autistic children can focus so much on day-to-day tasks that they rarely look ahead at the future. And then it hits them." I wrote, "My child might be with me forever. Is this going to end? Are the tantrums, are these behaviors, the running away, the biting, is this going to end? But it doesn't, I wrote. But it does. Within reason. But it does. I said, there is no reprieve. There is eventually. I said, there's no reprieve. Those are dark thoughts. Fortunately, here's my silver lining. I said, my perspective is very different. A perspective I cannot wait to teach others. Stay tuned. This shows me that I was on a roller coaster of emotion in 2011, that I was angry, but then I quickly found reprieve, probably within myself, because I know that my marriage wasn't strong. I know that I was angry and I had a little baby. So I can see from this post that I was flipping and flopping back and forth from anger and resentment and sadness to changing perspective and being optimistic and strong and courageous and moving forward. So that was my post. And next video, I'm going to share another post. And I think I'm going to tag on a video in the comments below. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you find it at all interesting. And if you do leave a comment, please be mindful that, you know, I'm a human being and I'm not perfect. And life is really shitty right now. So if we could just be kind to one another, ask questions, absolutely, and have even heated debates on the comments, that's fine. But when we start trolling and we start being mean, that is counterproductive. So think about my mandate if you can. I just want to educate and share experiences. And that's what I want to do. So this is for information, I stuttered again, and educational purposes only. So just be nice. Just be a nice person, please. Thank you. Behavioral Therapeutics, Marlowe, Gelmon. Like, subscribe, share. www.positiveneurohealth.com. Can't wait to share more with you. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the future with you. Can't wait. See you soon. Bye-bye.